WTV, and we've got Omoyele Sowore, who's a presidential candidate, an entrepreneur, a scholar, and an eminent personality, talking to us and giving us a brief history of Nigeria, Africa, and its prospect for his people. Mr. Sowore, welcome back.
Thank you.
And the question I'll be directing to you now is about Africa. Africa in general, the black man.
Yeah.
That is what we are called, and that is what we refer to ourselves as, the black man, the black
Race.
continent, the dark continent. What do you think is happening to the dark continent?
Well, I wouldn't want to call it a dark continent because it reinforces this whole notion that we're just these people who refuse to get out of, a situation into which we're put. And it reminds me of what I think Conrad wrote about Africa being a dark continent, people of dark minds. I wouldn't want to retreat that. I don't want to beat us down. We were put in certain conditions, and it's time for Africa to realize its own potential. It's time for Africa to stop beating itself down and whining about what was done to Africa through slavery, colonialism, and all of the injustices done to the continent of Africa. Why not overlooking them and understanding that they've done a lot of damage to us? It's also time for Africa to dust itself up and move its continent in a different direction. But I think Nigeria has a central role to play in that, and that's why, our party is referred to as the African African Action Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Africa is at the center of the reason why Nigeria must rise.
Okay.
And in doing this, I must let you know that I'm interested in what is happening in other countries of Africa, like Cameroon, where we have, dictators who've been in power for almost 40 years. In Uganda, we have a similar problem, and other African countries where if Nigeria were to be playing its role, they will get it right. This is time for all of them to look up to us, and they should all be interested in this. And Africa must be taken from whatever darkness it is into light. But Africa needs to change its leadership. Africa needs to put its best at the helm of affairs. Africa needs to stop electing people who don't know what they are doing to pilot the affairs of the continent of Africa. I just read somewhere today, I think it's in Algeria, where the president, who is in his 80s, and I think, in terrible condition, is also trying to run for office. The president of Cameroon just won another election for the 7th term. That should not be the story of Africa. And Nigeria can lead Africa in direction and path of proper democracy by ensuring that all these petty dictators are given a final warning. Like we had done in Zimbabwe, we had the success story out of Gambia. We need to have it all over Africa. 54 countries are waiting to be liberated, starting with Nigeria. And it must be done by fresh ideas, youthful energy, and capacity that will make the whole world understand that Africa is ready for business.
And on the issue of science and technology, we all noticed that Africa is lagging behind. Have you got a team to liberate Africa from the shackles of insufficient science and technology know-how?
Yeah. There's a huge team in place, and they are the ones running our campaign now. We are looking everywhere, and we're talking to people. What will amaze you is how many Africans are out there helping to build science and technology, factories, inventing devices, helping to shoot rockets into the space. But they have not been provided with the objective conditions for them to intervene at home. And the leadership of the type we are bringing to Nigeria would guarantee that immediately. And a lot of Africans are itching to go back to the continent. A lot of them are tired of being refugees in other people's land. They are tired of staying and overstaying in places where sometimes they are no longer welcome. Even in places where they are welcome, They felt that they've done enough of sojourn and they want to go and build Africa. And to buttress your point, there are several other countries who used to be in the condition that Africa is in today, who are now major technologically driven societies. You talk about, we're even talking about North Korea today, that they've gotten to a point, even though they are cut off from the rest of the world, they are building nuclear warheads and nuclear energy. They're able to generate their own electricity. They're building computers. You have South Korea there, you have Singapore, Malaysia. Some of these countries were coming to Nigeria in the 70s to look for help. And Nigeria is now even going around countries as small as Ghana to look for help in 2018. Again, it boils down to leadership. And the kind of science and technology development we need in the future will be guaranteed if we put some things in place, including providing the objective conditions for those of our brothers and sisters who have gone outside there to get new skills, all these great skills, to come back home and put it to use. What I say all the time is that Africa must produce if Africa wants to get out of poverty. Africa is currently not producing. Africa is still the raw material place for the world. It must become a place that is able to produce its materials, able to process its food, able to do a lot of things for itself. And Africa can do it. Africa is in a position to do it, but Africa is in need of fresh ideas and leadership.
Okay. Now back to your last sentence that Africa must produce if Africa wants to advance.
Yes.
For production to take place, there should be a source of energy.
Yes.
Non-stop energy,
24/7. That's right.
energy.
Yes.
But right now in Africa, I think only few countries can proudly provide their citizens with constant electricity. And this still boils down to the lack of science and technological know-how.
Advancement, yeah.
So, sir, what have you got in place to ensure that there is constant energy supply, there is easy accessibility with transportation, and the agricultural production of Nigeria and Africa increases immensely?
Thank you. We have plans already to increase Nigeria. Nigeria has miserable supply of electricity of 3,000 megawatts for a country of 200 million people. With that, you are wasting your time. There's no way you can produce with electricity that's barely enough to run, maybe even 5% of Perth, and that's a city. So we want to increase that rapidly to 24,000 megawatts within 2.5 years. And the way to do it is to bring in renewable energy, solar energy, wind, biogas, biomass, biofuels, whatever is needed. Nigeria is home to 9.3 billion cubic feet of gas, Ogoni land alone. That can, power almost half of the entire African continent. But the problem with Ogoni land or the Niger Delta region is that it's polluted, and Nigeria has refused to clean up because it has not done right by the people there. So there's chaos, there's militancy and resistance against even common exploration of gas. We have coal in a city known as Enugu, state known as Enugu. So we have all it takes to generate the amount of electricity that can power the continent of Africa, technologically speaking. And we have all it takes for us to have 24 hours electricity so that some of the technological brains we have out there will be willing to come back, including those who are not from Africa. Ask yourself, how does China do it? From being a country where you go to look for cheap labor to a country that's producing its own military hardware. Even now they're producing their own aircraft. So they're producing all kinds. How did Brazil do it? It's because they created the enabling environment, institutions, systems that made it possible for these countries to produce. We haven't done that because, again, we keep electing those who are incapable of thinking progressively into office all the time. So in some African countries, with due respect, we have dinosaurs as leaders. And these people cannot advance Africa. They cannot advance their country. Some of them cannot even run a local McDonald's, food place. Talk less of running countries that have millions of people, countries that are yearning for technological development. That's why you need to replace all the analog brains on the continent with digitally progressive thinkers like my young person.
Thank you. And so after Australia, sir, what's next for Mr. Omoyele Sowore? Are you still on the campaign trail, or you going home back to Africa to relax before the commencement of the election? So just let us know. Tell us. Talk to your viewers. They are out there. They're waiting to hear from you. They love you. And yeah, just tell us what's next for you.
Thank you. We're heading home. After Australia, I'm heading home tomorrow night, and I'm heading straight to Lagos. Well, I won't say straight to Lagos because I know direct flights from here to Lagos. But by Wednesday, we'll be back in Lagos, Nigeria, and we'll hit the ground running. We're not officially allowed to start major campaigning until November 18th. So, well, we have what we call grassroots campaigning, and we're calling on all our members to, regardless of whether you hear from us or not, go to churches, go to mosques, go to schools, go to the marketplace, and keep campaigning. Reach out to everybody you can reach across the 36 states of Nigeria, 774 local governments, and all the major cities, towns, and villages, and take this message there that Nigeria is on the cusp of liberation, final liberation from all its oppressors, both internal and external. And as soon as we do that next year, we'll find a different country. So our supporters are waiting to receive us, and they are waiting to hit the ground running as soon as the whistle is blown for us to start full-time campaigning. But that will not stop us also from still visiting Nigerians diaspora. We have trips coming to London, the US, I think Ireland as well. And we'll continue to do this until we deliver Nigeria to a brand new leadership come February 2019.
Mr. Omoyele Sowore, we all know it's not easy to be a presidential candidate. Where do you get the drive from, the motivation when you wake up first thing in the morning and you remember that, yeah, I'm Sowore of yesterday who's contesting for the presidency of Nigeria? Where does that drive comes from?
It's coming from all the great supporters around the world who are giving in their best. They're giving us their best. They're giving us their material, financial, and physical. And in some cases, I would say there's a spiritual support. Because Nigerians are very spiritual people, as you know, and I don't want to undermine that. And they're the reason why we're pushing so hard. And we're also doing this for generations that are yet unborn, who are crying for a new future, a brand new future in which Nigeria can become a competitor on the global stage. And they've reached that point where we just need to take the right turn instead of making the left wrong turn all the time. And it is very clear to a lot of people now that the future that they're expecting, that they're looking for, they're waiting for, is within their grasp. And this promise is not a hopeless promise. It's something that has inspired millions around the world, and it is from that inspiration that I'm getting a lot of energy and stamina to do what I do. Honestly, it is not easy to run for office in Nigeria, even if you're running for a local government chairman or councillor. But you can imagine we're running for presidency, we have little money. We raised less than 100 million naira since we started 8 months ago. And we are competing favorably. But yet, we have become a household name in Nigeria. And that is something that should inspire anybody. That's something that should give anyone energy and hope and great inspiration to run a great race. We're running not only a powerful race, we are running a race that is generational in nature and the first of its kind. I must tell you that in the history of Nigeria, I'm the first person to come to Australia, of all places, to campaign as a candidate. That's the first time any Nigerian who's running for office in Nigeria ever tried to reach out to the diaspora, in this part of the world,
Okay.
which we refer to as the end of the world in Nigeria. But you guys say it's the beginning of the world. You're entitled to that. But it's been amazing, and I must keep thanking our supporters. So many of them are viewing this as we speak all over the world. Anytime they get a notification that we're online, whether they are sleeping or awake, they pay attention. And we must keep thanking you and let you know that we will never let you down. We will never let the supporters down, because this country, this nation, the place that we are trying to get to very hard is overdue. The destination that we've all been working towards is within reach. And that's something that we must ensure that we get to, and we must not relent. There's no going back. That's why we say, take it back in Nigeria, no going back.
Take it back.
No going back.
So it's the saying is take it back, no going back.
Yes.
AAC, take it back. Action,
Yes.
no going back.
Yes.
So the people of Nigeria, we've got here Omoyele Sowore, is 47 years of age, is a human rights activist, founder, Sahara reporter, blogger, writer, and who is also a beneficiary of the Ford Foundation grant.
Yeah.
Can you shed more light on that for our viewers?
Once the Harry Potter started years ago, I started with my own funds. I started with one laptop in a basement in the US. And over time, my work attracted the attention of a lot of foundations, including the Ford Foundation was the first to have the confidence to invest in Star Reporters. Our first grant we got from Ford Foundation, and subsequently we got grants from MacArthur Foundation and also Omidyar Foundation. With regards to Omidyar Network, that's what we call them, it's very interesting. The owner of Omidyar, Pierre Omidyar, is also the founder of eBay. And I bought my first computer for Sahara Reporters on eBay for $600.
Okay.
A few years later, I got a grant of about $475,000. That was my first grant. And subsequently, they gave me several grants to take to take Sahara Reporters to a global brand where it is today. So I'm grateful to all the foundations, grateful to all of people at MacArthur, at Ford, and Omidyar for making it possible to realize that dream of helping to disrupt the media space on the continent of Africa and allowing me to be the activist that I've always been. Because sometimes there's a struggle between getting foundation funding and remaining authentic. That was something that wasn't interfered with throughout my relationship with these organizations.
Mr. Omoyele Sowore, thank you very, very much for shedding lights on the grants from the foundations over there that made the realization of Sahara Reporters. So we have been able to get a bit of insights from you today. We would have loved to get more, but as time permits us, we just want you to tell our audience out there what message you've got for them, the people of Nigeria who reside here in Australia and in diaspora, what you've got for them, and any message you've got for Africans who are living in diaspora and Africans who are living in Africa. Just talk to them. They are waiting to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Once again, it's been a pleasure to be on your show. My message to our followers, viewers, supporters around the world is that Nigeria of your dream is about to be realized. And for Africans out there, that Nigeria that you've always been looking up to or looking forward to is about to come into existence come next year. February 16th, 2019 is the date of the election for the presidency of Nigeria. Coincidentally, it's my birthday.
Ooh.
Wow, yeah. So I have got to get a big birthday gift next year from all of you. And it's just to say, look, another Nigeria is possible. And we'll make sure that we achieve that next year and continue to start that journey of, just letting Africa realize its full potential in our lifetime.
Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Omoyele Sowore.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
nice
for
having
having me.
you. Yeah. So what do you reckon, Angela? Hey, Mister, take it back. You wanna come behind us and let's just wanna add Weasley to the
All right, you want that? You want that?
and the auntie as well.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you stopped it.
This is the team.
No, stop it, yeah.
Don't stop it here.
I'm sorry, but it's been doing that all the time.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we're here with the
Just do one.
presidential.
Do one. We can't.
Yes.
Hello, Nigeria.
Yes. You should tell them your name too, because
Yeah, my name is Adiremi Adipupo Tony, and we are here live at Western Vision here, Western Australia, and we've got here Mr. Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate, and of AAC.
Yes.
And I just got that slogan that said, "Take it back, take it back."
Action.
Action.
Yes.
Take it back. And we just got here Weasley, Gadiola, and thanks
Wesley Ipodala.
It's Godala.
That's
to
it.
thanks everybody for participating in this, and we wish Omoyele Sowore good
Luck in his quest
to become the president of Nigeria.
Nigeria. We wish every
Every participant in the election good luck. So yeah,
Take it back.
taking our country back.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a nice day out here at WTV in Perth, Western Australia. This marks the end of this particular broadcast. Thank you everyone for having us, and it's a pleasure coming here. And we will invite you to the inauguration next year.
Right.
Thank you.
May I ask you all friends?
Why not? You can come before then. Yes. That's it.
And it's going to take a lot of financial investments to
Nigeria they use computer. The leaders of Nigeria they use radio where they turn the knob.